All right, everyone. We are the company Apple. My name is Tommy.
My name's Jenny.
I'm Raphael.
My name is Oren.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
All right. So just want to start off with some general questions. Apple is part of the technology industry. It specializes in computer hardware and software, as well as consumer electronics. The way to categorize competitors is by separating the companies for each consumer product. For example, a competitor for Apple, such as Samsung, is a part of the smartphone market category. Another example are the companies HP and Dell, which are competitors of Apple through the desktop computing category. And for our project, we're going to focus on the smartphone market. The booming industry is a very large geographical market amounting to the Americas, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa. And the industry is still growing, but at a slower rate than before, making this industry's life cycle at the mature stage. And so for our PESTI analysis, we found that the strong and positive influences are a strong economic force, a strong social force, a strong technology force, and a strong ecological force. The negative influences would be the political and legal forces, as we see new rules and regulations arise due to cybersecurity.
The reminders. For iPhones, Apple competes with companies like Samsung, Google, and LG. Apple has a plethora of suppliers to produce their product. Apple iPhones also have competitors outside the tech industry, which are considered substitutes, examples being cameras and watches. Apple being stable within their position in the industry leaves little room for new companies to enter the market.
Analysis of Porter's five forces. The degree of rivalry in Apple's industry is high due to existing barriers, fixed costs, brand identity, and industry growth. Corporate stakes and money is high too within this industry. Therefore, competition is fierce and always required. Suppliers have low power within the industry, as there are so many of them, making them easily interchangeable or replaceable if need be. Buyers have considerable bargaining power within the industry, and Apple needs to sell iPhones, and without companies buying them, there would be no Apple today. Substitute products are not very powerful in the industry. Though there are substitute products, they usually have a poor performance trade-off, which makes them unrealistically able to use. Threat of new entrants is high within Apple's industry, and this is due to economies of scale and years of experience of incumbents. Factors of competition. Competitive pricing is one of the main factors because of how important the cost of an item is to customers. Often competitors have similarly priced items, as they know this alone could be where they lose in terms of consumers' choice. Switching costs are a huge factor of competition because people like to save money. Apple is generally cheap to switch away from, as they are a specialty brand. And differentiation of products is a huge factor, as of standing out and being different in a positive way can make other products obsolete in a way. If only one company has the feature that many like, that is most likely the reason for their high market share if they have that at the time. Brand image is key, as people often buy products in which line up with their beliefs or lifestyle.
For positive aspects, the technology industry has boomed in ways that no one thought it could reach. It allows us to stay connected regardless of distance and time, and it also allows for more connectability through our phones and increased communication for work and businesses. We are able to text, email, surf the web, and even video chat at our fingertips. There's an offer for a variety of options to pick from for each consumer to have their wants and needs to be met. For negative aspects, the technology industry has also been a learning curve for many due to the constant innovation within our devices. There can be a reduced interpersonal communication because we adjust to communicating behind a screen instead of with others. The innovation of new smartphone technology can come with new privacy laws and policies that may need to be implemented to protect users' personal information.
So for the opportunity and threats in our industry, opportunities are growth, customer growth and retention, growing into new eco-friendly options, entering new markets as an innovation for underrepresented groups, and also the necessity for technology. The threats that the industry faces is supply chain disruptions, increasing competition, privacy laws, rules and regulations over cybersecurity.
So let's take a look at the internal analysis of Apple and the smartphone market. The organization may be classified as functional, and the most important stakeholders are the board of directors, executives, employees, and shareholders. The business model is based off of innovation and consumer-centric devices that are able to maintain its competitiveness in the market through their easy-to-use designs and data migration to new product lines. And the main issue that Apple is currently dealing with is the COVID-19 pandemic. Apple's mission is to bring the best personal computing products and support to students, educators, designers, scientists, engineers, business persons, and consumers in over 140 countries around the world. Their vision statement is to make the best products on Earth and to leave the world better than we found it. And Apple's objective and main goal is to obtain stellar products and services within tight timeframes at a cost that represents the best possible value to our customers and shareholders. Apple's values and beliefs are about deep collaboration and cross-pollination within their groups to allow them to innovate in ways that others can't. And Apple has a certain way of doing things, as they are known for their simplicity, creativity, and humanity.
So analysis of resources and capabilities. Apple being different from its competition in terms of software is what mainly helps them increase the price of their iPhones. Apple also produces its iPhones looking luxury, minimalistic, and sleek, which adds to this factor. Also, Apple has been growing at an average rate for the industry, and Apple operates on a high margin rates. Therefore, though they want to sell more iPhones because it means more money, they don't stress it. Apple generally grows organically as a company opposed to inorganically with sponsorships and partnerships.
So for Apple's value chain activities, they what I've noticed from what we've noticed on it, Apple's production and opportunity chains activities is one of the great example to follow. Their activity flows, they have a good flow for their primary activities to get up their margin and to make them one of the standout and best in the industry by following their inbound, outbound logistics and hiring processes. Makes them a standout in our industry.
So for the triple bottom line, economic performance in the past quarter was the highest it's been in the past 5 years. Social performance is also very high, and Apple does its best to give back to their communities. Environmentally, Apple is currently carbon neutral and is working to make the production of its iPhones to be that way as well by 2023.
And then for strategic issues, the strategic issues that Apple has encountered within their business model is pricing, distribution, and dependence of high-end market sales. Their pricing strategy can be an issue due to their high selling points, excluding the lower income customer base that may not have the means to afford their products, such as their iPhones. Another issue that limits their expansion is their distribution strategy, because they have a policy of exclusivity, which limits their distribution of goods and services only to certain authorized retailers. Apple's dependence on sales from high-end markets attracts mainly high-end, middle, and high-income consumers and businesses, which can have an impact on their business and sales because it only represents a minority of the global market. For strengths, we have easy to navigate software and hardware. They make it simple to utilize. They have many resources for customers to learn how to use their devices and get the full experience of their iPhones. Environmentally aware of the impact on the planet. They have informed the media that they're going to become carbon neutral across its entire business by 2030. The customer inclusion, they're very big on including everyone, including people who have learning disabilities or vision and hearing loss, which allows them to gain a different type of customers who other companies may not accommodate to. They have high price points. The company usually loses a group of customers when they're unable to afford their products. Change in leadership. When Steve Jobs passed away, the management style changed as Tim Cook took over as CEO, and customers quickly noticed a difference in the company when that occurred.
So a new strategic direction. Apple's vision, mission, and values coincide with societal norms as they look to leave the earth better than they found it. Their outlook on providing exceptional products and services are what keeps them at the forefront of the technology industry, specifically the smartphone market industry. Changing any of their core values would shift Apple's company into a completely different direction. And we see that many companies look at Apple to follow their leadership style since they set the bar for quality and innovation. Apple uses the broad differentiation strategy, and our team would not change this strategy as we think it's perfect for their premium pricing and their loyal customer base. And Apple is the leader for their marketing position, and Samsung would be the closest competitor. A weak trailer in the industry would be LG, which does not have as big as a market as either Apple or Samsung. And our team would keep the marketing position the same since they have been at the top of the industry for years.
So we believe Apple should pursue innovation with technology and to grow in size as the sky is the limit. They're a leader in the industry and could easily compete in most means of technology if they put their efforts into it, but more specifically the mobile phone industry. In terms of crafting strategies, we believe that all stakeholders could benefit if we change how the organization produces iPhones, making sure each annual release of Apple iPhones had a genuine upgrade and were not just filler would increase the shared value for the customers as well as the stakeholders. If they focus on and made a more meaningful innovation each year, they would make more sales overall. In terms of crafting strategies for an ideal world, we want more affordable iPhones from Apple that maintain high quality characteristics. For this, what would possibly be needed is Apple decreasing their profit margin in order to become more affordable. Instead of moving from high profit margin, instead of moving from high profit, high margin, we can just lessen the profit margin and help consumers too. With a lower price point, more sales will be attracted and demand will go up for iPhones.
Okay, so for the generating strategic alternatives, one of our strengths is customer retention. A weakness is exclusivity. Opportunity is moving into new and environmental friendly aspects. And this contributes to the following one, which is the 3 alternatives.
So for the 2 to 3 final alternatives that they can pursue to improve their business, Apple could transition into more eco-friendly products and packaging by removing unnecessary items out of their packaging. They could transition into lowering the cost of their iPhones by keeping discontinued items that they usually remove from their inventory and keeping them and offering them at a lower price point. They could also focus on increasing customer satisfaction for their iPhone users by increasing their limited warranties.
And then for the new strategic direction, we recommend that the lower price point alternative, although it may cost the most to use this alternative, the value that it would give would be exponential because it opens up the possibility of gaining new customers that before maybe would not have purchased an iPhone due to financial limitations. And then for competitor reactions, we predicted that competitors would try to find the lowest cost supplier to try and compete with Apple, because it's seen time and time again, once Apple introduces something new, competitors follow closely behind.
For our new strategy diamond, we need to change the arenas, vehicles, and differentiators.
So going off to implementing a new strategic change, so we will follow new changes that we foresee Apple following is by finding new cost suppliers, new marketing strategies, and following an eco-friendly impact for their iPhones. We will start by implementing the new diamond strategy by focusing on new elements, as in implementing the arenas, the vehicles, and differentiators.
So from my experience, I enjoyed this a lot, learning about Apple and their smartphone market. I didn't realize how much of an impact Apple had on competitors as they set the benchmark for the continuous innovation and a highly respected company.
In my experience, I noticed that Apple does so much outside of just their sales and their product releases that they also want to help the environment by doing the neutral carbon by 2030, and then also by being included in social issues outside of Apple.
By doing this project, we obviously learned a lot about Apple, and also being one of our last projects in college was also a great experience working with you guys. but also shows how connected we are by technology and how Apple has influenced that through our lives.
In my experience, I personally learned about the different relationships Apple has with the suppliers and buyers and how those differentiate from a lot of other industries that there are.
And then our experiences, for me, I really enjoyed learning about this company because it is so successful, and I was able to kind of like have a deeper understanding of why that is. So it was just really interesting for me. Thank you.